3, 2, 1. Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. You're never gonna guess what's happened in South Texas. Yesterday it was 94 degrees. Today when I wake up it's 60. It's 64 degrees right now. It feels darn good. Hey, if you don't like the weather in Texas, just wait a minute. Now, for some of you that have been watching the channel for a while, you know that I have been looking for another motorcycle. And guess what? I bought a bike, and that bike got delivered last night. And we are on our way to unveil that bike and show it to you. And as most of you can probably tell, today I am on the Vulcan S650. And I'll bet some of you are thinking, or maybe a lot of you are thinking, oh my goodness, what is Tripp going to do with this bike? Fear not, I am keeping this bike. I love it too much. It's a wonderful bike. Well, before I make the royal unveiling, I just want to remind you guys that the channel, Tripp on Two Wheels, is giving away a free Shoei RF 1200 motorcycle helmet. Retail value anywhere from $550 to $700, depending on which size and color you choose. All you have to do is be subscribed to the channel, and we are going to randomly give away one helmet if you choose to subscribe. Thank you very much and good luck. Look down below the video for all the details regarding. Now let me show you the closest thing we have to filtering in the state of Texas. Thank you, Mr. Turn Lane. We're almost there, folks. Just a few more exciting moments until the surprise reveal. Open sesame. We're almost there, folks. 3, 2, 1. And surprise, it's the Fat Bob. Yes, indeed. Harley Davidson 2009 Dyna Fat Bob without a mark, dent, ding, or scratch on her. Just looking absolutely gorgeous. Got less than 7,000 miles on her. She's got beautiful paint, beautiful chrome, beautiful seat. She just looks fantastic. Best of all, she runs like a top. Since the very first day she was bought, she has lived in a garage when she wasn't out riding. She was delivered to me just last night. I'm itching to take her out for her first ride. All right, now that we've got her out, let me tell you a little bit about this bike. I want to do a little walk around here, give you all the pertinent facts. We're not going to do a test ride today, probably going to do that tomorrow so I can share that with you as well. But there she is. The bike is powered by a V-twin 4-stroke, air-cooled, of course, being a Harley. 96 cubic inch engine, which is also known as the 96 twin cam. That means it's just shy of 1,600 cc's. Actually, it's about, I think, 1,584. It'll produce 69 horsepower if left in the stock configuration with the stock exhaust. Or if I were to upgrade the exhaust, change that, change the breather, etc., I could get it up as high as 95 horsepower. So depending on what I choose to do with this bike, which right now is nothing, it is anywhere from, or can be anywhere from 15 to 40 horsepower more than the beloved Vulcan S. I really like the fact that she's got a 6-speed transmission and, of course, belt driven. You can see the belt right there. Now, it's going to be tough to tell because it's overcast out today, but it's got an upgraded paint job actually called Pearl Black. And there's little tiny luminescent flecks in there. And if the sun was out today, they just sparkle in every color of the rainbow. Really makes this bike look nice. The bike has 16-inch wheels, both front and back. Look at those beasts, especially with those big tires on them. That's in part where the name Fat Bob comes from. The fat is from those big tires and the way this bike is built really, really beefy. And the Bob comes from the Bob fender. Up front, we've got a nice beefy 130 millimeter tire. And in the back, the tire is 180 millimeters. So this is going to help the ride. This is going to absorb a lot of the bumps, the road feel, and it's going to give me a much bigger contact patch when I'm braking. The Fat Bob is well known for having very, very good brakes up front. It's got twin discs. These are 12-inch discs, and there are 4 pistons up front. So you've got a lot of braking power up front on this bike. and also disc brake in the back. This one is 11.5 inches with a single piston. Another very cool feature about this Dyna Fat Bob is the teardrop gas tank. And get a good shot there. I love the look of this thing, the way it's shaped. It just flows very well with the bike and the Harley medallion there. It holds 5.1 gallons, and with the chrome and the paint, it just looks beautiful. Now what's cool about this gas tank is it's bigger than most of the tanks in the mid-range size Harleys, and particularly in the Dyna line. This bike will get average in the low 40s, 43, 44 miles per gallon between city and highway at 5.1 gallons per tank. I'm looking at a range of anywhere from 210 to 230 miles per tank, which will suit my needs just perfectly. Another cool thing about the bike is the 2-into-1 Tommy gun style exhaust, which sounds really good for being a stock exhaust, I gotta tell you. In fact, we'll start up the bike here in just a couple minutes and let you get a taste. Now, as far as size goes, this bike is a couple inches longer than my Vulcan S. The seat is about 1 inch higher. I'm not sure by how much, but the bike is a little bit wider. But the key element is weight. This bike, curb weight, in other words, the bike with gas and oil in it, weighs just a shade over 700 pounds. The beloved Vulcan S, which you can see right over there, weighs a little over 500 pounds. So we're looking roughly at a 200-pound difference between the two. Okay, we're going to start this baby up and let you see how she sounds. Now, starting this bike up is a little bit different than a bike that you might be used to, certainly me, a metric or a standard bike. You've got a key fob here, and this bike does have an alarm system. You take and turn it clockwise, pull out the key, and then you don't have that key dangling around, scratching up your tank, being a pain in the butt and getting in the way. Take this key, stick it in my pocket. I don't have to worry about it. Make sure the kickstand is up, which is. I'm going to turn the selector from off. You've got accessory off and ignition. Turn the bottom to the left so ignition lights up. We've got neutral. That is good. We don't want to start off in gear, but as a safety precaution, I always pull in the clutch. We put the bike into the run position, and then we hit start. And let's run you through the instrument gauge here. Of course, we've got your standard speedometer, and that of course is backlit. You can tell we're in neutral. We've got 6,843 miles on this bike. Push this button right here. Trip A is 207 miles. Trip B, the same thing, 207 miles. R low. I haven't digested the owner's manual of this baby yet, so I have no idea what that means. It is 428. I know what that is. That is the range. And that tells you how many more miles you have until you run out of gas. And it says low, so that means it is time to gas this bike up. It's a good thing I'm not taking it anywhere right now, but those are your features of the little digital odometer. Now, two things that this bike doesn't have are a full gear position indicator of 1 through 6. And it doesn't have a tachometer on it. I really don't miss the tachometer. You get used to that pretty quickly from the sound of the bike. I do wish it had a full gear position indicator. When you're in 6, that lights up with a little 6. And when you're in neutral, of course, you've got neutral. But 1 through 5 there, you've just got to get a good feel for the bike to know what gear you're in. That is a lit gas gauge, and Harleys, a lot of the Sportsters and some other models below this actually don't have fuel gauges, so I'm glad this one does. Let's go ahead and shut this bike off now and continue with the tour. Can you hear that? Reminds me of our old Ford LTD when I was a kid. Being this is an air-cooled engine, you can actually hear the metal contracting as it cools off. Sounds pretty cool. As I mentioned, the bike came with an alarm system. It also came with 2 keys and 2 fobs. I don't really know exactly how these work yet, but I'm going to find out. Next up, we have something that doesn't come on a lot of bikes. I don't know if it's just unique to Harley, but it's got a turn signal left on this side and right on this side. So 2 separate turn signals. That's going to take a little bit of getting used to coming off the Vulcan S. But what is really cool is they're self-canceling. Also in the deal, I got a quick detach Harley OEM windshield. I'm not sure what size it is, but it doesn't have a scratch on it, so I consider myself pretty fortunate. It's going to come in really handy cutting down the wind noise when I'm riding and shooting videos on the bike. Another bonus is that the bike has foot-forward controls. The original owner could have either gotten mid controls or foot forward. I'm almost 6 foot tall. I like foot forward, to be honest with you. And right there is the horn on this bike, which is a lot louder than I'm used to coming off the Kawasaki. Actually, it sounds like an 18-wheeler almost, but I like this. Hey, safety first, right? Next feature is the very thick, very comfortable, nicely padded 2-up seat. And you've also got standard, the very beefy passenger foot pegs. Another nice feature here are adjustable shocks. Spring preload 1 through 5. Right now they're set on 2. I may end up adjusting those, but these look really sharp. You see how they're totally covered with a chrome sleeve. You don't have that exposed spring. So what do I really like about this bike? Well, first off, the looks I just think are incredible. How can you take one look at this bike and just not love it to death? The styling, the profile, the beefiness of the front forks, the wheels and the tires, the drag handlebars on the risers, very, very cool. When I first saw this bike, I really didn't care for the twin headlights too much, but I really love them now. I think they just give this bike a really unique look, and it's the only Harley to have lights like this. That teardrop gas tank just looks really sweet. And then the bobtail style rear fender, which helps give the bike its name. I just think that really looks sweet as well. All the chrome. Man, what a good looking bike. Of course, the belt drive. Now I don't have to mess around with adjusting a chain all the time, oiling the chain, cleaning the chain. Yay for me. And then of course, way up there on the list is the sound. Hey, it sounds like a Harley, you know, what's not to like? And then finally, just the overall condition of this bike. My hat's off to the previous owner, who, by the way, his name was Richard. Hey man, thanks for taking such good care of this bike, keeping her in the garage, treating her like your baby, and most of all, for putting a brand new pair of tires and a brand new battery into this sucker about 200 miles before you sold it to me. So as you guys know, I've always been a metric guy. I love smaller, more nimble bikes. The question simply is, how am I going to like riding this beast of a tank? And in short, owning a Harley? I really have no idea. I will guarantee you one thing though, we're going to find out pretty soon. Well, all right, let's shut down the beast, put her back in the bike cave. Dun, 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 dun. Well, I hope you enjoyed the video. I really liked making it, and I'm very excited about this new bike. I think my first ride, my first real ride that I'm in a video is going to be tomorrow or the next day. Hey, do me a favor in the meantime. Please let me know what you think of my decision for the Fat Bob. And do you like the bike? Do you think I'm nuts for getting a Harley? Do you think I was smart for getting something different than I already have? That bike is certainly a lot different than the Vulcan S. Let me hear about it. Please put your comments down in the comment section. And don't forget to like the video and subscribe. Thank you very much. Until next time, this is Trip on Two Wheels asking you to do two things. Ride safe and ride often.